Welcome back. You're watching the first year anniversary special of Rera and whether it's been effective in protecting the home buyer. Abhay Upadhyay, I'm going to toss the question to you. I know that you've given a very well-balanced answer saying, look at the statistics, they're all not very negative. My question to you is, we fought so hard for Rera. Here's a state like Telangana, which has no registrations under Rera, has diluted the rules quite substantially for ongoing projects, yet it seems to be thriving. Does that make you worry that were we fighting for an act which doesn't really mean much?
Well, Manisha, I don't think that is the actual benchmark. We can see that just because Rera is not there, still the market is very good. See, that is demand and supply. Please understand that when people were suffering, lakhs of home buyers, they all didn't go to consumer court also. That does not mean people were not suffering. And today also when Rera, where people are suffering in states, not all of them have approached Rera. That does not mean that people are very happy with the real estate industry. So that conclusion we cannot draw. The only thing is, and you have given a classic example of Telangana. Now, Telangana government has become active. We have approached them. Fight for Rera team, along with the other RWAs, have met the principal secretary there. We have been requesting them to see, and they have sent their, if you are aware that, they have sent their representative to Maharashtra and Karnataka to study that. So this is a classic example where if we put pressure on the government, things may move. And it is, we have been told by the principal secretary that they are still in the process, and probably authority will be there in place in next 1 or 2 months.
Abhishek Dubey, then let me come to you. What's your assessment? I mean, between, let's say, a tussle like IBC and a Supreme Court in a JP case, what do you think the end game should be?
So basically, the ongoing project is the biggest, worry right now, because in the ongoing project, still the super area has been, continuously being increased and given to and the possessions are being handed over to the, home buyers. And how many home buyers will say they have already suffered for the last 10 years. They have not received their, possession letters. And now when they receive the possession letters, they are made to sign indemnity bonds and they are made to withdraw all the cases wherever. And they are also asked to sign an undertaking that they will not approach any authority and full and final settlement has happened. So that is the biggest worry, in the sense that there is a gross illegality done by the builders at present, because 99% of the home buyers, once they receive the possession, they would not like to again start another battle, right? Because they have already been battling for the last 10 years. So there has to be some proactiveness by the Rera authorities to deal with such cases. It's in public knowledge that this has been happening. Delay penalty, nobody is paying. Like, they increase the square feet area.
Authorities means who? Abhishek Dubey, who's the authority? You mean the state government, the chief minister themselves should step in?
Yeah,
well, we did have Yogi Adityanath step in, but really there's no solution still.
The Rera authority itself.
Okay, you're saying the Rera authority should proactively step in. Okay?
Yeah, the Rera authority. Exactly, and it has the power to do that under the regulations. Also, the central government has to issue messages to all the state governments, because see, we now, even after the central government has issued and promulgated the law, why is Telangana not doing its job? So even if we have to make these many efforts to make someone realize that this is your job, then it's a bad state actually.
Well. All right, implementation gaps. Ashish Mahajan, you've heard the entire story, and I think the biggest constituency which was hoping to get relief from Rera was those buyers who've been stuck in projects for a long time, and there are over a lakh of those home buyers who still haven't found a resolution. Any solutions other than the fact that real estate regulatory authorities need to become proactive? What can be done to help those home buyers?
See, like Abhishek mentioned about central government to step in and take to task some of these states where the Rera implementation is weak. Unfortunately, in cases, and in fact, most of the delay which has happened in implementation of Rera at the state level.
Both BJP states, by the way. I do not want to sound political, but the fact is, if the centre had the powers to pull up the states to get, into action. So here's my question, gentlemen. It's an election year. Yeah. The wind could blow either way. You could either have developers being cajoled and wooed because monies are needed for election funding, or you could have buyers being wooed because they are a reasonably important constituency. Abhay Upadhyay, which way will the wind blow in this second year of Rera?
Well, as you know, the buyers are not very united, and as we have been seeing in last 10 years, this is an accepted fact that we are not willing to come on the streets, we are not willing to take on the governments. So that is why maybe in the coming election we may not be able to make much difference, and money may win over vote. But having said that, I can only expect that we will try to put pressure on the government and ensure that the political will which is required to implement, as you can see there is in the case of GST, which is much more humongous implementation. It's not easy implementation, much more than what is required in Rera. So I hope that we will home back realize these things, and we will be putting pressure on the government.
All right, so Abhishek and Abhay, both of you gentlemen, keep the pressure up, and of course Ashish as well, with your stories, with all that you write about the developers, and of course talk about the projects. I think the pressure has to continue to get Rera implemented in full spirits. I'm going to wrap out here. Of course, we'll keep the conversation going because after all, you do need proper regulation to protect the home buyer. And I don't think the conversations should stop till that happens across the country in every state and union territory. Thanks so much for joining me, and goodbye.